Hello, dudes and dudettes. Welcome to the War Zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. And the news, they are a bit old by now. I had hoped to make this video last night, but that did not happen. But here we are. So yes, more CV90. Ukraine will receive a huge amount of the world's best infantry fighting vehicle. So a couple of days ago, a Dutch newspaper released an article online after having talked to the Dutch Minister of Defense, Kajsa Ollongren. Yeah, that's funny in Swedish. Trust me. Sorry, I'm a juvenile. Anyway, what the article told us was, for example, the Netherlands will work with Denmark and Sweden to build infantry fighting vehicles for Ukraine. 400 million euros will go to a Swedish fund for the construction of these originally Swedish vehicles. Denmark previously opted for cooperation with the Swedes. The production of these CV90s largely comes to the Netherlands. And hear this, 180 of the total 230 vehicles. 230 CV90s for Ukraine. That's an insane amount of CV90s intended to be delivered to Ukraine. So what are we talking about? We're not talking about the Swedish standard vehicle with the 40 millimeter. We're talking about one of the latest versions, designs of the CV90, the CV90-35 Mark III Charlie. And since the Dutch are involved, very likely to be the Dutch version of the Mark III, the CV90-35 NL. NL stands for Netherlands. And what do these vehicles bring to the table? Well, except looking absolutely badass. Take a look at that turret. Wow. Anyway, they have a 35 millimeter chain gun, and as you can, if you take a look at the image here, you can compare the 35 millimeter with the Bradley's 25 millimeter. As you can see, this is a big step up in firepower. And I mean, we have the Bofors 40 millimeter. Oh, beautiful. Anyway, and what the NL version brings additionally to the table is that they have repositioned the gun somewhat in the turret, which allows for more ammunition to be stored. So it brings more ammo than the standard Mark III Charlie. It also has an APS system, two smaller turrets that can fire a shotgun blast, two shotgun blasts, essentially, at incoming RPGs, drones, or missiles. So they are, you need 3 or 4 RPGs or drones or missiles in order to be able to land a hit on these things. Compared to other vehicles that do not have APS, then you only need, one shot or one drone to land a hit. But here, you need to saturate the target to force the vehicle to fire the APS systems. And once that is done, then you can start landing hits on the vehicle. It also has an anti-tank guided missile pod holding 2 Spike long-range missiles. A step up from the Bradley here as well. The Bradley relies on the older TOW missiles. These are a bit more modern from Israel. Spike, long range, very capable, and very deadly missiles that can destroy anything in the Russian arsenal, just like the older TOW, but these are slightly more modern. And what the Dutch vehicle has that is kind of cool. It has this tactical periscope, and you can see it popping up here in the image. It actually extends. Oh, I've forgotten how far up, but a couple of feet up in the air, and it allows the commander to look around without exposing the vehicle. So you can remain hull down or even turret down behind a ridgeline, behind trees, foliage, behind buildings, and just pop the periscope up, take a look around without exposing yourself to incoming fire, and you can then locate targets and plan accordingly how and where to move forward to engage those targets. Very nifty. And so yeah, so this is a very modern vehicle. It has all the latest fancy gadgets helping the crew to communicate and find out where they are in the battle space and keep track of everything around them and stuff like that. And very capable armor. I'm sure they will have additional armor packages as well. That seems to be the norm. And we'll see if they will come with the Barracuda armor that Sweden has provided Ukraine with. All Swedish vehicles in Ukraine have Barracuda armor that is essentially hiding the vehicle from various sensors, most notably thermal sensors. So we'll see if these vehicles will receive Barracuda armor as well. A bit unclear, maybe not, but we'll see. But yeah, very, very capable vehicles that Sweden, Denmark, and now the Dutch intend to provide Ukraine with. And 230 of these, that's no small number. That is the equivalent of basically a European fighting force, right? That is a large number, and these vehicles are state of the art, and there will be nothing else like it on the battlefields of Ukraine. These are top modern vehicles, state of the art, latest technology, some of the best weapons, ammunition, and missiles available are put into this thing. And it will outperform all Western vehicles provided to Ukraine, and it will sure as hell outperform anything in the Russian arsenal. So, like we've pointed out, 230 CV90-35s in total, 180 built by the Dutch. So does that mean we have 50 built in Sweden? And that got me thinking. Sweden wants 50 9035s to replace the 50 CV9040s that Sweden has provided to Ukraine. So are these the 50 Sweden will build for themselves and the Dutch will build the batch promised to Ukraine? Or will the Dutch help Sweden build 230 CV9035s for Ukraine? A bit unclear, but it does appear as if Ukraine will receive either 180 or 230 CV90-35s. Whatever the case, two production lines will obviously speed up deliveries to Ukraine for sure. And it will also ease things at the Hägglunds factory up at Örnsköldsvik in Sweden, as they are pretty busy building all sorts of vehicles for the Swedish army alongside taking part in this project to provide Ukraine with CV90. So the question now, I guess, is how many will be shipped to Ukraine with each batch? Will Ukraine have to wait for all CV90s to be built? Or will they come in smaller batches of 20, 30, or even maybe 50? And the next question is, who will train the Ukrainians? The Swedes, the Dutch, and where? Sweden, the Netherlands, Germany, Ukraine? And for how long? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? I mean, yeah, it's awesome that these vehicles are being built, but as soon as they have finished building them, they need to train Ukrainians on them, not just the crew, but also mechanics. So this will take time, and I'm thinking Ukraine will be able to field these on the battlefield sometime during 2025. Whatever the case, 180 or 230 vehicles, still, it is a fighting force of elite combat vehicles, some of the best in the world. And Russia will, beyond any doubt, truly struggle with these vehicles. This is a state-of-the-art weapon, carrying a powerful chain gun, advanced and sophisticated anti-tank missiles, and it is capable of surviving incoming artillery, anti-tank weapons, and more. To be perfectly clear, Russia has nothing that comes close to this vehicle. Nothing in the Russian arsenal even compares to the CV90 35, especially if they get the Dutch version, which it appears as if Ukraine will receive, since the Dutch are involved in building these things. So yeah, when these things show up on the battlefield, there will be nothing like it. No Western vehicle compares to it, and sure as hell, nothing in the Russian arsenal comes close to these vehicles. So while Russia receives golf carts from China, Ukraine will receive state-of-the-art combat vehicles from Sweden with the help of Denmark and the Netherlands. Think about that for a moment. The long-term implications. Russia receives golf carts. Ukraine gets state-of-the-art combat vehicles. Hang in there, Ukraine, because things are slowly turning around and wrath is coming. That's the end of the video. I hope you found it interesting. And have any thoughts, leave a comment down below. And as always, gå på marsch, Ukraine. Give them hell.